Hey YouTube, Mike from Just Watch back with a new episode. Today we are going to take a look at the contents of this box from Baltic Watches, which I've actually just taken out of the outer packaging. Full disclosure, they did contact me via email and liked what I was doing on YouTube with my reviews and how I kind of had an affinity for vintage style watches, and they definitely do some really nice vintage style watches within their collection. So we're going to do an unboxing on this, take a look at it, and then we'll come back and wrap it up. So let's go get this under the lights. All right, so here we are under the lights with the Baltic HMS001. Really kind of a cool story that these guys are doing. They're making their, or actually I should say they're assembling their own watches in France. I think what they're doing is sourcing components from elsewhere and then putting it all together in the factory in France. But I really like what they're doing with a lot of the styles here. And they let me choose which watch I wanted to do a review from the website. So they do some really nice vintage looking dive watches, but I've done a lot of that lately, so I wanted to do something a little bit different. So I went with this three-hand HMS001. Before we do that, I'll give you guys a wristwatch check. Wearing the Hamilton Field Khaki 38mm on the Admiralty Gray NATO still. Really enjoying wearing this watch. You guys probably just saw my last episode, my 3-watch collection. This one definitely is a prominent feature in what I call the perfect 3-watch collection. You can check that out on my channel. It's the last episode that we uploaded. So let's take a look at this one. Nice kind of a gilt on the box. Just basic cardboard, really nice weight box to it though. Definitely not a cheap box. We have the Baltic paperwork that nobody ever really wants to see. Oh, and this is cool. So you have, you see the Baltic signature there. It's like a cork. Let's take this out of here and take a look, see what we got. Wow, so it actually really looks and feels like cork. I don't know if they're applying that to it somehow or what, but you kind of have nice kind of a leather feel with the cork on top. Really nice kind of box. Definitely expensive looking. And then let's take a look at the watch. Oh wow, so yeah, I did pick this out from the catalog. You can see it's actually already running from my moving it around a little bit, both in the studio and here under the lights. Let's get rid of this paper, get this out of here and take a look at it. So this is a Miyota movement. It's a Miyota automatic movement. And get this box out of the way so we can take a better, closer look at the watch. Oh, well, actually, look at this. Kudos to them. Look how little protective plastic this watch has on. I don't know if you guys saw my rant a few episodes back about how much I dislike all of the plastic that is being used on these watches to protect them when they're already in a protective case. I think it's kind of crazy. But so just there, and then we have a little piece on the back. Let's actually undo this strap so you guys can see better. This is a really nice leather strap that they gave us here too. So that's French calf leather with a Baltic signing. We'll come back to that. And there is your case back with the Miyota movement. So let's run through the specs. Really kind of a cool thing. So this is inspired by 1940s step case designs, and it definitely accomplished that quite well. You can see that really nice kind of classic style. I really like how they do the case profile here and the drill lug holes. Good stuff there. It is a Miyota 821A 21.6 thousand vibrations per hour movement. They say that it has a -20 to +40 range. In my reading on the forums on people that have this movement in watches, most of them say that it runs within 5 seconds to 10 seconds per day. It is a hand wind, but it does not have hack. So that's kind of an interesting. No hack there. It is 21 joule and 42-hour power reserve. Give you a look at the case back there. So you can see a little bit of decoration going on there. Let's flip it around this way. You see the heartbeat there. So nice job there. Kind of a nice looking movement. I really like that they gave us this acrylic crystal as well. Speaking of acrylic, the crystal on this watch is a crystal it is acrylic. Definitely, you can see how much that steps up out of the bezel. Has that really kind of a high bubble crystal that you found so much back in the 1940s, 50s, and even into the 60s. If you guys have ever had the pleasure of holding one of the vintage Rolex Submariners, one of the red Submariners, they have, some of the earlier ones have a really high step, like almost looks like a hi-hat sticking up out of there. This one's definitely not as high as that is, but definitely has kind of a nice vintage vibe to it. And as we mentioned, that nice Italian calf leather. It is 50 meters water resistant. Now, no date on this watch, just a very simple 36912 dial. You can see it does not hack. And then so traditional as far as setting time goes. Really nice feeling as far as that goes. Yeah, pretty nice. It's funny when you have a watch that doesn't have hack when you're setting the time these days. You kind of have to be really cognizant of where the second hand is in relation to the minute hand. If you're one of those people like me that likes having your minute hand be, you know, when it's at the 12 o'clock, be right on the index marker as it's going around. So really nice. I really like the kind of vintage vibe that this watch has going here, both with the handset, the dial, and the case. They did some really cool things on the handset and case as well. So you have a gold handset, gold-coated handset, and then the index and minute track are painted gold. So really kind of cool stuff there. Let's zoom in a little bit so I can give you a better look. At that handset. I'll give you guys the better look too. Catching a lot of light there off of the my studio lights. There's a better look. Really kind of a nice vintage looking minute track there. Very simple, clean dial. You can see just minimal signing, which I like. The printing on the text is all printed in gold as well. This is all according to their website. Let's try it on. Let's see what it feels like on the wrist. So of course there is no luminous material either on this watch. So it is a 38 millimeter case size, just like my Hamilton that I just took off. Actually wears a lot like the Hamilton. Really nice on the wrist. It has a nice low profile, a little bit of chunk to it, but not, you know, definitely not what I would call a chunky watch at all. Just really kind of nice on the wrist. I really like that strap, and there you can see just a really nice Baltic signing. That little bit of contrast stitching there just for some decoration. And there you go. So on the wrist, really nice. It actually, so give you an angle of how it sits on the wrist there. Sits down nice and flat. I don't know if I'd run this on a NATO. I think it might be a little weird, but I think running it on this leather strap, very nice indeed. So 38 millimeter case with a 20 millimeter lug width. Nice classic proportions. Definitely a nice size, and that's a 7-inch wrist. That's what I have there, is just under 7 inches. It's 170 millimeters to be more exact. So let's run you through my initial impressions about this watch as far as what I think good and bad is. Keep in mind, I just took it out of the box. I haven't had time to, you know, really test it and give you, you know, a more thorough review on it. We'll come back with that later. But as far as what I see as plus and minuses overall, good with this is the Miyota movement. It's a great little movement. It's a workhorse, 21.6 thousand vibrations per hour. It's fairly slow beat, and that means it's going to be very maintenance free and reliable. Hopefully this one keeps good time too, as I've read others do. Also really appreciate the great vintage style that you have here. Just a really nice minimum signing. You know, you have your holes on the case lugs there for easy strap change if you want to do that. And I really like that step case style with that classic acrylic crystal. You can see that really nice high dome, and just a really nice simple clean case back. And I always like being able to see that beautiful movement too. I really like the calfskin strap as well. Really nice leather, very supple, and also I think it's just a very strong value proposition. This one retails for around $400 US, so not bad at all as far as the price point goes. Really nice 3-hand set as well. Now let's talk about what you might consider bad on this watch. I think the first thing is that it does not have hack. I know a lot of automatic watch connoisseurs definitely prefer having that option when they're setting the time. Not a huge deal breaker to me, and keeping within a vintage tradition, I think this watch very much accomplishes that. Also, within the vintage tradition is the acrylic crystal. Not everybody is going to love having that acrylic crystal. I really like it. I think they're funky and fun. And, you know, it's not something I want on every watch. But, you know, for a vintage-inspired piece like this, I think it's kind of cool to have. And I really love the distortion that they give you when you're looking through them as well. They are a little bit of glare monsters, as you can see there on my studio lights though. So that is one drawback. It's kind of hard to give them AR coating. But overall, I'm going to look forward to wearing this watch over the next few weeks, give it a test, see how it runs as far as time and accuracy goes. And I really do like both the colors with the gilt and also just that really nice classic style. That's it for this episode, everyone. If you like our content and you have not already, please do hit the subscribe button. It's going to pop up over here somewhere. You can just click it and you will be notified when our next episode comes out. You can also hit the bell notification. As you guys know, you guys are all YouTube ninjas, so I don't have to tell you guys what's going on. Just click it over here if you like our content. Definitely appreciate you guys being back, and thanks everybody. Bye-bye.